Good morning, students. My name is C. Radhakrishna. I am working as senior lecturer in chemistry at GPT, Government Polytechnic, Gadwal. Today, let us say the formation of a ionic bond and conditions necessary for formation of ionic bond, as well as the characteristics of ionic compounds. The objectives are: we'll learn definition of ionic bond, how the ionic bond formation takes place. These things we will learn in today's class. Ionic bond. See, yesterday we have seen in the electronic theory of valency, the primary motive for the formation of a chemical bond is to attain the nearest inert gas configuration, that is an octet, NH2NP6 configuration. Most of the compounds do this, most of the elements do this to attain stability. They try to acquire nearest inert gas configuration in the balanced shells, NH2NP6. Okay. As we have seen yesterday, this can happen by either by transfer of electrons one atom to another atom, or by mutual sharing of electrons between the between the atoms concerned. Okay. So ionic whenever a bond is formed by transfer of electrons from one atom to another atom, the atom losing turns into positively charged ion. The atom gaining the electron will turn into negatively charged ion, and so the ions are formed, and there exists what we call as the electrostatic force of attraction between these ions. So to discuss this, the ionic bond is formed by transfer of electrons from one atom to another. Okay. It is formed between an electropositive element and another electronegative element. Ionic bond may be defined as the electrostatic force of attraction that binds oppositely charged ions together. See, whenever you have got charges coming to picture, the attractive force or repulsive force between different charges is we call it as electrostatic force. When the ions involved are opposite charged, it is called as electrostatic force of attraction. If you have like charged ions, like ions with the same charge or species with same charge, they will repel each other. Like charges repel each other. That is called electrostatic force of attraction. Here in the case of ionic bond, we have an electron is transferred from one atom to another. One turns into positively charged ion, cation, the other turns into negatively charged ion or anion. So there exists an electrostatic force of attraction. Okay. So we define ionic bond as the electrostatic force of attraction that forms that binds oppositely charged ions together. Okay. Example: sodium chloride is an ionic compound, magnesium chloride is magnesium oxide is also ionic compound, KCl is also ionic compound. These are all the examples of ionic compounds. Okay. Yeah. Only valence electrons are lost in the formation of ionic bond. Okay. The atoms they try to get octet in the outermost orbit. In the case of sodium, you can see that there is this atomic number is 11, sodium atomic number. You can see in the diagram. Okay. Sodium turns into positively charged ion and it gets a neon configuration. Okay, in the first orbit 2 electrons, in the second orbit total of 8 electrons, 2s/2p6. Chlorine with its atomic number 17, it is short of an electron. It needs one more electron to get argon's configuration, that is 18 ns2np6, 3s2 3p6 configuration. So, it takes up an electron from the sodium atom. Okay. You can obviously see sodium has got only 10 electrons, sodium ion, and chloride ion, all blue electrons, blue circles are electrons of chlorine itself, chlorine atom itself, and the cross in pink color or light red color, that has come from the sodium atom. Okay. So, it turned into Cl minus ion. Now, in the Cl minus ion, it has got 3s/3p6 configuration. Okay, that is octet configuration. So, both sodium as well as chloride, sodium ion as well as chloride ion, both of them have got nearest innerst gas configuration. Okay. Formation of cations. Metals are electropositive elements. In childhood, in the school level, you must have discussed about metals and non-metals. Metals tend to lose electrons easily and turn into positively charged ions. Tend to lose their electrons very easily to turn into positively charged ions. Okay. So, that is why we call all the metals as electropositive in nature. Metals lose valence electrons, that is the electrons from outermost orbit, valence electrons to form positive charge ions. So, here in the case of sodium, you can see 1s2 configuration is, its atomic number is 11, its configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. The last electron is in the third orbit. Okay, that electron is extra. If that electron is not there in the sodium, it will get the configuration outermost orbit, the configuration of 2s2 2p6, that of neon configuration. So, obviously sodium loses an electron, okay, and gains, turns into sodium ion. Likewise, in the case of magnesium, the atomic number of magnesium is 12. Okay, its atomic number is 12. Magnesium has got its electron configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2. In the third orbit, it has got 2 electrons. Sodium had 1 electron, magnesium has 2 electrons. If you can remove, take these 2 electrons off the magnesium atom, okay, it gets 2s2, 2p6 configuration in the outermost orbit, that of neon configuration. So, to attain neon configuration, magnesium tends to lose a pair of electrons or 2 electrons to turn into Mg2 plus ion. That is what is shown here. You can obviously see. Okay. Now, let us see how an anion is formed. The sodium ion and magnesium ions, we call them as cations. Positively charged ions are called as cations, as you are aware. Formation of anion. Non-metals they have got high electronegative values. Okay, they are all electronegative elements, we can also call them. So, whenever electronegativity is high, whenever the element is electronegative or electronegativity is high, it attracts electrons towards itself. Okay, it attracts electrons towards itself and it picks up an electron and turns into a negative ion. Extra electron is added, if an extra electron is added, it turns into negative ion, right. So, these non-metals can gain 1 or 2 electrons to form negative ions. For instance, you take the case of chlorine. Chlorine picks up an electron to turn into Cl minus ion. Likewise, oxygen picks up, takes up 2 electrons. Oxygen is 2 electrons short, 2 electrons short of the nearest inert gas. So, its atomic number is 8, its configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. Actual neon configuration is 2s2, 2p6 octet. So, oxygen is short of how many electrons? 2 more electrons. Okay, 2p4 is there, 2s2, 2p4. If it gets 2 electrons, it gains the configuration of 2s2, 2p6. The neon configuration and octet, it becomes stable. That is why the oxygen takes up a pair of electrons to turn into oxide ion O minus 2. Chlorine likewise picks up a single electron to turn into Cl minus ion. Sodium chloride. Let us see the example of the formation of sodium chloride. Actually, here we consider two examples. We will try to consider two examples. Okay, for the formation. One is the formation of sodium chloride. The other is the formation of magnesium oxide. These two will consider as examples for ionic bond formation. Usually they don't specify, in the examination they don't specify with which example to explain, but it will be better if you can learn both these examples. It will be useful to write in the examination. Okay. So, first example is the formation of sodium chloride. Okay. Formation of sodium chloride. Here we will see separately the formation of sodium ions as well as the formation of chloride ions and their combining together we will see. So, the electron configuration of sodium, electron configuration, to know the electron configuration you have to know the atomic number. Atomic number is represented by, if you can recall, in the first class we have discussed, it is represented by Z. Here the atomic number of sodium is 11. That means there are 11 protons in the nucleus of the sodium. In a neutral sodium atom, okay, the number of electrons will be equal to the atomic number. We have discussed this, okay, already. So, since atomic number of sodium is 11, it has got a total of 11 electrons in the sodium atom. Okay, the configuration will be write as 1s2. Actually, this electrons, number of electrons should have been written as a superscript. Okay, anyway, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. Okay, if you can close this 3s1, the configuration becomes 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, that of neon. So, it becomes it gains the neon configuration. So, it has got one electron extra than the nearest inert gas neon. Sodium is also by nature it's a metal, sodium. It tends to, its ionization energy is very, very low. So, ionization energy of sodium is very low. It can lose the ionization energy is the energy required to pull out an electron from an atom, gaseous neutral atom from the outermost orbit. Okay, the energy required to pull out or take out most loosely held outermost electron from a gaseous neutral atom. Simply put, that is the definition part. Simply put, it is the energy required to take out an electron from an atom. Okay, the ionization energy of sodium is very low, ionization potential or ionization energy. So, it tends to lose electron very easily. Okay, so sodium metal loses outer electron to get a stable configuration of neon. Okay, now you see Na, loss of electron. See, when a sodium atom loses electron, what happens is originally there are 11 protons and 11 neutrons present in the sodium metal. 11 protons and 11 electrons, 11 protons and 11 electrons are present. 11 protons are present in the nucleus are attracting 11 electrons present in the outside extranuclear space. Okay. Now, when sodium atom loses an electron and turns into Na plus ion, the configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. It has gained neon configuration. Now, what is happening? You just check. Number of protons is intact. In the sodium atom it is 11. In the sodium ion also the number of protons is 11. In the sodium atom 11 protons attracted, 11 electrons they pulled together towards the nucleus. Now in the sodium atom 1 electron is lost. Now what is happening is the 11 protons present in the nucleus are pulling 10 electrons towards themselves. So the effective nuclear charge on the electrons will increase. Okay. So since more positive charge is there and less negative charge is there, it will be pulled together nearer to the nucleus. So the size of the by the loss of one electron, the size of the sodium ion decreases because 10 electrons are pulled by 11 protons more vigorously with more force. So the size of the sodium ion shrinks or decreases. Okay. Then the formation of, let us go for the formation of chloride ion. The atomic number of chlorine is 17. There are 7 protons in the nucleus as well as 17 protons in the nucleus as well as 17 electrons in the outside extra nuclear space. Its configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. Chlorine needs one more electron. It needs one more electron. Okay, one more electron to gain 3s2, 3p6, that is argon's configuration. If it can gain one more electron, it gets a 3s2, 3p6 configuration. So it is short of an electron to get stable argon configuration. Chlorine atom gains one electron which is lost by sodium metal. Okay. Sodium lost an electron, right? Obviously we have seen, and turned into Na plus a cation. These electrons will be picked up by chlorine, and chlorine turns into Cl minus ion. The electronegativity Cl minus ion, it has got the Cl minus ion, it has got argon's configuration 3s2 3p6. Okay. And the electronegativity of chlorine atom is high. Since its electronegativity is high, it tends to attract or pull the electron towards itself. It can hold electronegativity as well as electron affinity, both of chlorine, both these are high. So it can form a stable, it can take up an electron and can form a stable Cl minus ion. And in turning from Cl to Cl minus ion, you can obviously see that the size of the chloride ion increases, because now in the chloride ion 17 protons are attracting 18 electrons. In the chloride ion 18 electrons are there, right? So 17 protons are attracting 18 electrons. So effective nuclear charge on the electrons will decrease. So chloride ion size will increase. The same phenomena which happened, the similar phenomena which happened in the chlorine. So in turning from neutral to positive charge ion, cation, the size shrinks, whereas in turning from neutral atom to anion, the size of the ion will increase. Cation size will decrease, anion size will increase. This is what actually happens. Okay, this is what happens. Okay. So now we will see the formation of sodium chloride. See, you have got Na plus ion and Cl minus ion together. Okay, and it is a fundamental law of nature that opposite ions attract, like charges repel and opposite charges attract. So now what happens is Na plus and Cl minus combine together to form into NaCl. It is actually not a single molecule, it is a crystal lattice. We will come to know about this lattice and lattice energy a little later. Okay. For now, sodium chloride crystal is formed. Okay. NaCl is formed. Here you can see sodium atom, chlorine atoms here on the left hand side of the, okay. Sodium loses an electron, and that electron is transferred from sodium to Cl minus. You can here see in the picture the size of the sodium ion has decreased, and the size of the chloride ion has increased, as we have discussed earlier. This happens because in the sodium ion 10 electrons are being attracted by 11 protons of the nucleus. So, the effective nuclear charge felt by the electrons will increase. Okay. So, they will be pulled inwards towards the nucleus. So, because of that, from sodium to Na plus ion, the size shrinks or size decreases. Whereas, in the case of chloride ion, obviously as you have seen, the size has increased from chlorine to chloride ion. Here what is happening? Chlorine is getting an extra electron. So, in the chlorine atom, 17 protons are attracting 17 electrons, whereas when it turns into chloride ion, okay, 17 protons are attracting or pulling together, pulling inwards 18 electrons. So, the effect of nuclear charge will decrease, effective nuclear charge will decrease. So, on the outermost electrons. So, the size of the anion will increase. It is shown very clearly, figuratively, okay. For your understanding, it is given here very clearly, okay. This is what is happening in the formation of sodium chloride, okay. Next, observations, okay. Whatever we have discussed, I have given as notes. Sodium loses an electron and gets the neon configuration by forming Na plus ion, okay. Neon configuration 2s2 2p6 in Na plus ion we have seen. Likewise, chlorine gains 1 electron and gets argon configuration, gains 1 electron and gets argon configuration by forming Cl minus ion, by forming Cl minus ion, okay. That is 3s2 3p6 configuration of argon. Electrovalence of sodium and chloride ion is 1. The valency, sodium is losing 1 electron, chlorine is gaining 1 electron. So, valency is of both of them is 1, okay. Next we will see the sodium chloride magnesium oxide formation, okay. Magnesium oxide formation. The electron configuration of magnesium is 12, okay. Electron configuration, atomic number of magnesium is 12. Its configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2. If you can block, imagine 3s2 is not there, 3s2 configuration is not there. What remains? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. The 2s2, 2p6 valence configuration is same as that of neon, okay. So, to gain the neon configuration, near standard gas neon configuration, magnesium has to lose a pair of electrons. It tends to lose a pair of electrons. The ionization potential of magnesium is also lesser, so it can lose 2 electrons easily to gain the configuration of neon, okay. So, magnesium metal loses 2 outer electrons, that is the electrons from the third orbit to get a stable configuration of neon, to gain the stable neon configuration. After the loss of 2 electrons, size of Mg plus 2 ion decreases, okay. Here you can say in turning from Mg to Mg2 plus, it has lost 2 electrons, okay. In Mg 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 configuration. In Mg plus 2 configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. It has gained neon configuration. But in doing so, what is happening is there are 12 protons in the nucleus of the magnesium. Earlier in the magnesium atom, 12 protons were attracting 12 electrons, but in the magnesium ion 12 protons are attracting only 10 electrons. So, the effective nuclear charge felt by the outer electrons is far more. They will be pulled more and more towards the central nucleus. Because of this, the ionic radius goes on shrinking, or you can say the size of the Mg2 plus ion decreases and turning from Mg to Mg2 plus. Okay. Let us see the formation of oxide ion. The atomic number of oxygen is 8. Okay. There are 8 protons and 8 protons in the nucleus of oxygen and 8 electrons in the extra nuclear space of the atom. Okay. Its configuration can be written as 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. In the outermost orbit we have 6 electrons, 2s2 and 2p4 electrons. Nearest inert gas configuration is that is neon's configuration is 2s2, 2p6. So, it means that oxygen needs 2 more electrons, it needs just 2 more electrons to get nearest inert gas configuration, it is short of 2 electrons. Okay. So, oxygen atom gains these 2 electrons which are lost by the magnesium metal. The electrons which are lost by the magnesium metal will be gained by the oxygen. So, oxygen picks up 2 electrons and turns into O2 minus. Okay, O2 minus, 2 extra electrons, 2 negative charges. Here you can obviously see that in the oxygen atom 8 protons are attracting 8 electrons, whereas when it picked up 2 electrons and turned into oxide ion, in the oxide ion the number of protons is not changing, it remains the same. There are only 8 protons on the nucleus, in the nucleus of the oxygen atom, but there are 10 electrons outside. From 8 the number of electrons increased to 10. Okay. So, 8 protons are now attracting, instead of 8 electrons they are attracting 10 electrons. So, the attractive power weakens, it becomes weak. Okay. The effective nuclear charges decreases and the outermost electrons will decrease, effective nuclear charge. So, when the effective nuclear charge is decreasing, the size of the atomic radius will increase, ionic radius will increase, and size of the ion will also increase. So, on moving from oxygen to oxide ion, oxygen atom to oxide ion, the size of the atom is increasing. This is what happens. This is the case is just similar to that of the situation is similar to that of sodium chloride, which you have discussed in the earlier instance. Okay. So, what is happening is effectively the magnesium ion size is decreasing, the cation size is decreasing going from magnesium atom to magnesium ion, and the anion size is increasing in going from oxygen atom to oxide ion. Okay. So, the magnesium ion and oxide ion, magnesium ion and oxide ion both combine together to form magnesium oxide crystal lattice, magnesium oxide crystal. Okay. Here we have shown with a depiction. Okay. We have shown with a depiction. Okay. In the magnesium ion you have got outermost 8 electrons, positively charged magnesium Mg2 plus, outermost 8 electrons. Okay. Likewise in the oxygen, see for the case of clarity we have shown that the electrons of magnesium in the form of crosses, the electrons of oxygen in the form of dots. Okay. Dots in the form of dots. So, in the case of magnesium ion you have got outermost 8 crosses, that is 8 electrons. In the case of oxygen you have got again 8 electrons, but 6 of them are belonging to originally oxygen, and two crosses, two electrons represented by the crosses, they are transferred from the magnesium atom. Okay, so Mg2 plus and O2 minus, they are held together by electrostatic force of attraction. This electrostatic force of attraction constitutes the ionic bond. Okay, these are, so far we have considered two examples of ionic bond formation. Okay, two examples of ionic bond formation. Okay, now we shall move on to conditions necessary for formation of ionic bond. Okay, so far what have we learnt? We have seen the definition of the ionic bond. What was the definition like? The electrostatic force of attraction that binds oppositely charged ions together. Okay, that force which binds the ions together, electrostatic force of attraction, that itself is called as ionic bond. Okay, and we have also seen what are the steps involved in the formation of ionic bond with the help of two examples we have seen. Okay, one is the formation of sodium chloride, the other is the formation of magnesium oxide. In the examination, either of this can be asked. Okay, next we move on to the conditions necessary for the formation of ionic bond. Okay, before that, let us try to enhance our understanding. Which of the, by one or two questions solving, which of the following compounds has ionic bond? NaCl, H2O, C2H6 and H3. Obviously, we have discussed NaCl is having ionic bond. The rest of the H2O molecule, C2H6 that is ethane, NH3 that is ammonia, all of them are covalent compounds. That is, NaCl is formed by transfer of electrons from one atom to another. These H2O, water, C2H6 ethane and NH3 ammonia, all are formed by mutual sharing of electrons between the atoms concerned. Okay, that is called as a covalent bond. So NaCl is ionic compound, has ionic bond, the rest of them have covalent bond, they are called as covalent compounds. Next, another question is, ionic bond is formed between, say, the electronegativity difference must be very high for the formation of ionic compound. Okay, so the electronegativity difference between hydrogen chlorine is not that high, the difference is not that high. So HCl in between H and Cl, only covalent bond is formed. Okay, likewise in the case of Mg and magnesium and oxide, the electronegativity difference is very high enough to allow the transfer of electrons from magnesium to oxygen to form stable ions. So in the case of magnesium oxide, okay, ionic bond is formed. In the third option, both sodium and magnesium, both are metals, both are electropositive, both tend to lose electrons. But for the formation of ionic bond, you need to have, one has to lose the electron and the other has to accept that electron. So here both are electropositive, both lose electrons. So no negative ion is formed. So no question of formation of any sort of ionic bond here. Between the carbon and hydrogen, the electronegativity difference is very small between carbon and hydrogen. So neither can pick up electron nor any of them can lose electron. So they form into they combine and form a covalent bond. Okay, between carbon and hydrogen. Okay, this enhances our understanding. Solving the problems like this, questions like this, enhances our understanding of the subject. Okay, that's why I have added these quiz questions for discussion. Next we will move on to the conditions necessary for the formation of ionic bond. Okay, on completion of this class, you will know what are the conditions necessary for the formation of a cation. Okay, what are the conditions necessary for the formation of anion. Okay, that is essential for cation formation and anion formation, are essential for the formation of ionic bond. So, in other words, conditions necessary for the formation of ionic bond we are discussing here. Okay. Okay. Conditions necessary for the formation of ionic bond. Okay. The formation of ionic bond, the following steps are involved. In the formation of ionic bond, we have seen cation is formed, formation of cation, formation of anion, and they are coming together. These cation and anion coming together to form into a big crystal called formation of crystal lattice. These three steps are involved in the formation of ionic bond. Let us see first what are the conditions necessary for the formation of a cation. Okay, favorable conditions for the formation of a cation. See, to turn into a cation, an atom must lose electron, one or two or more electrons. So, for the loss to lose electrons, it should have a low ionization energy. It should have a low ionization energy. The ionization potential must be low. Okay, for any atom to lose electrons, its ionization energy must be low. And the charge on the cation should also be low. Okay, the charge on the cation so formed should also be low, and the size of the cation that is being formed should be a bit larger. Okay, if it is very small, it polarizes the bond and covalent bond will be formed. That is why if charge is also high, the more high is the charge on the cation, the more is its polarizing power. So, that tends to more polarizing power. Atomic size, small atomic size and large charge, both factors polarize the opposite atom. So, polarization leads to covalent bond. Okay. So, here the conditions, favorable conditions for the formation of cation are low ionization potential, low charge on the cation, and large atomic size. Low ionization potential. Let us discuss each point each. Atoms of low ionization potential lose electrons easily to form, readily and easily to form cation. If you compare sodium and potassium, the ionization potential of potassium is less than the ionization potential of sodium relatively. Since the ionization potential of potassium is less, potassium K plus ion is more readily formed, more easily formed and more readily formed than compared to that of sodium ion. Okay. Next, large atomic size. Large atoms form cations more easily than the small atoms. Okay. Large atoms means the distance between the nucleus and outermost electrons is far, very large. Okay. The outermost electrons are away from the nucleus. So, it helps less and less tightly. So, again here as the size increases, the ionization potential is also decreased. So, large atoms because of this increased distance between the nucleus and outermost electrons, they tend to lose electrons more easily to turn into positively charged ions. Okay. The reason is the nuclear attraction and the valence shell of a small atom is higher than the large atoms. Yeah, nuclear attractive power in a small atom, the distance between the outermost electrons and nucleus is less, and the outermost electrons will be held more and more tightly compared to that of in a larger atom. Okay. For example, cesium ion is much larger than sodium ion. Okay. So, cesium, CS stands for cesium. Cesium tends to lose electron, tends to lose electron more easily than sodium to turn into cesium plus ion. Okay, cesium plus ion. So, cesium plus ion is more readily formed than sodium Na plus ion because the size of the sodium ion is far lesser than that of cesium ion. Cesium ion, which is a large atom, tends to lose electron easily and form cation very readily, more readily. Okay. The low charge on the cation. A cation with low positive charge is readily formed. Cation with low positive charge is readily formed than a cation with higher charge. Okay. So, Na plus is more readily formed than Mg2 plus, which is in turn more readily formed than Al3 plus, because for the formation of Mg2 plus, first we take out an electron and it turns into Mg plus, and taking out an electron from Mg plus is more difficult because electrons are held more tightly in the Mg plus than in Mg, neutral Mg. So, effective nuclear charge in Me plus is more. So, pull out a second electron will be more difficult. So, cation with a low positive charge is more readily formed than a cation with a higher charge. Cation with a higher charge. Okay. Next, favorable factors for the formation of anion. High electronegativity and high electron affinity. An anion forming element must have high electronegativity and high electron affinity. High electronegativity means it attracts the electron tightly towards itself more and more, and high electron affinity means the anion formed will be more stable. The higher is the electron affinity, the more is the energy lost, and more higher will be the stability of the corresponding anion formed. Okay. So, it must have anion forming element must have high electronegativity and high electron affinity. It should have low charge on the anion, and it should have small atomic size. We will try to explain these things. Okay. High electronegativity and electron affinity. Atoms with high electronegativity and high electron affinity readily accept electrons to form anions. Okay. Fluorine has got it is the highest electronegative element, most highest electronegativity it has. It accepts electron to form F minus. Likewise, chlorine also has very large electronegativity and picks up an electron, turns into Cl minus ion. Okay. Both of them have high electronegativity and high electron affinity. Low charge on the anion. Anion with a low negative charge is readily formed. Okay. Anion with a low negative charge is readily formed than anions with a higher charge. So, F minus is more readily formed than O2 minus, which is in turn more readily formed than N3 minus. See, the formation of O2 minus, first one electron is added, O minus is formed. Okay. So, you are adding another electron to O minus to get into O2 minus. So, you are adding an electron to negatively charged ion, which is difficult. Okay. The same thing happens more pronouncedly in the case of N3 minus. So, the anion with a low negative charge is more readily formed than anions with a higher charge. You can obviously see. Okay. It is not difficult to visualize that, it is quite obvious. Okay. Small atomic size. Smaller atoms hold electrons gained by them strongly. If the size of the atom is small, it can attract the electrons more tightly, so that a more stable anion is formed. Okay. So, small ions hold electrons gained by them strongly. So, atoms with small size form anion readily. So, F minus is more readily formed Cl minus, Cl minus is more readily formed than Br minus. Okay. From fluorine to Cl minus, to chlorine to bromine, the size will go on increasing. So, smaller size atom will hold the negative charge more tightly and it becomes more stable and it is more readily formed. Okay. These are the factors that favor the formation of anion. Formation of crystal lattice. When a large number of opposite charged ions in the gaseous state come closer, come closer, a solid ionic crystal results. So, these ions which are in the gaseous state, they combine together, they lose lot of energy to form into a solid state crystal lattice. During the process, energy is released. During this process, a lot of energy is released. This is called as lattice energy. So, the crystal lattice is lower in energy. So, lower energy means more stability. So, it becomes stable. Okay, lattice energy. The amount of energy released when oppositely charged ions get packed closely to form 1 mole of crystal solid. Okay. So, when 1 mole of crystalline solid is formed from the corresponding ions, okay, the energy released is called as lattice energy. Okay. So, Na plus plus Cl minus gives NaCl 760 kilojoules for the mole formation of 1 mole of sodium chloride from Na plus and Cl minus ions. 760 kilojoules of energy is liberated. The greater the lattice energy, the higher will be the stability of corresponding compound formed, crystal structure formed, crystal lattice formed. Okay, this is about the lattice energy. Now we will move on to, we will discuss the characteristics of ionic compounds. Okay, summary: we have learnt about conditions necessary for the formation of cation and anion, and also learned about the lattice energy. Okay, let us see 1 or 2 questions to deepen our understanding. Which of the following metal forms cation easily? Sodium, potassium, magnesium, iron. Magnesium, iron are multivalent. They have to lose 2 electrons. Magnesium has to lose 2 electrons. Iron has to lose 2 or 3 electrons, Fe2 plus or Fe3 plus. So, they are ruled out. Between sodium and potassium, potassium size is larger. Okay. So, answer is B. Potassium forms cation easily. It flows from our discussion. We already discussed the points. Okay. Next question is, which of the following is not favorable formation of anion? Anion formation is favored by small size, more electronegativity, okay, and low negative charge. These conditions favor small size, more electronegativity, more electron affinity, and low negative charge. These factors favor the formation of anion. So, the left out is large size. Large size does not favor formation of anion, quite obviously. Okay. Characteristics of ionic compounds, let us see briefly. Okay. Let us see briefly the characteristics of ionic compounds. The compounds having ionic bond, okay, compounds having ionic bond are ionic compounds. That is, they are formed by ions which are held together by electrostatic force of attraction. Okay, that is first point. Ionic compounds are solids because constant ions are held by very strong electrostatic forces. They are highly crystalline solids. Okay, each ion is surrounded by a number of opposite charged ions together. So, breaking is easy. That is why, okay, melting and boiling points are very high. The melting and boiling points are very high due to strong electrostatic force of attraction between the oppositely charged ions. See, each ion is surrounded by a large number of oppositely charged ions. Okay. So, to take out to separate the ions, you have to spend very huge amount of energy. Okay, very huge amount of energy you will have to spend, okay, to separate these ions. So, it requires lots of energy to separate these ions. Okay. So, their melting point and boiling points are very high, okay, usually very high for all the ionic compounds, because the ions are held by very strong electrostatic force of attraction. These are generally soluble ionic compounds because they are made up of ions. They are usually soluble in water and other polar solvents. Usually soluble in water and other polar solvents. Okay, and insoluble in non-polar solvents like benzene, toluene, naphthalene, etc. Okay. See, since ionic compounds they are made up of ions, they are very good conductors of electricity. They conduct electricity, but they conduct electricity only in the fused state or in dissolved, when they are dissolved in solution. Fused state means when a solid is heated very strongly to very high temperature, heated very strongly to a very high temperature, okay, very high temperature, the bonds will break and it melts. From solid state it turns into liquid state. This process is called as fusion, and this molten state is called fused state. In this fused state, the bonds between different ions will break down. Ions are mobile freely, they can move freely. So is the case when they are dissolved in solution, ions become free, they can move from one place to another place, they become mobile, freely mobile. So they conduct electricity. They conduct electricity in the fused state and in the solution, but in the solid state ions are bound together, they cannot move around at all, okay. In the solid state they will be different, they will be bound together, they are non-conductors of electricity in the solid state. Only in the fused state and solution they conduct. The reactions involving ionic compounds are very fast, extremely fast. Ionic reactions are electrostatic reaction, they are very fast, okay, because ions participate in the reaction. And next is these compounds do not exhibit isomerism. Isomerism is comes from the directional, if it bond is directional, they exhibit isomerism. Ionic compounds are ionic bond is non-directional, because a given ion is surrounded by a number of oppositely charged ions, okay. So we cannot say in which direction, we cannot localize a bond between these two ions, because each ion is surrounded by a number of ions, oppositely charged ions. So in different directions the bonding is there, the attraction is there. So the bond is not localized. A localized bonding results in the formation of isomers. So here you don't have any chance for isomerism, no isomers exist. This is about the characteristics of ionic compounds. With this I conclude my lecture, okay. All the best.